check 1, 2. How's everybody doing out there? How's the audio? And just like that, you're at another Sleuth Intuition Live. This time, we got a lot of good information. A lot of hopeful spirits, a lot of positive energy. Even seems the trolling has kind of calmed down. So that shows a level of maturity. Seeming more and more like a time of celebration. So keep up those good spirits. It does help, whether you believe it or not. Well, we got a full house. What's up, Curly? Good to see you. Sorry to hear about your mom. Said a prayer for her. Hope she's doing okay. Haven't heard any updates. Eminem. Lucky Lady, hello. D, what's good, D? Hey, Melissa, good to see you. Martina, hello. Hey, what's up, Matt? Says no more searching. Hello, Jill. Miss Dog Lover, hello. Jill Moser, hello. Good to see you as always. Murder sheets possibly could have jeopardized the Delphi case by leaking important information. It's possible, but it doesn't seem that way. If anything, they were entrusted with that information. Or they did get their hands on it, capitalized on it, and been handling the information in a professional manner. So whatever they did to capitalize on it, that's on them. But the information was legit. It's been nothing but helpful. And for people like me who are unfortunately very obsessed with this case, it's basically food for the soul. Just wanting to know why this happened. How could this happen? And out of everybody in the entire world, why those girls? It's bad enough that this happened, but how did it end up happening to them? They don't seem any different than my daughters. So if it could happen to them, it could happen to anybody. So we might have those facts very soon. Murder Sheets is a very reputable podcast who has been covering the case. I'm not saying they've done anything out of the ordinary, but they seem to be professional, and they seem to be the first ones to release this information that led us to the Anthony Schatz profile, led us to Keegan Kline, and then what it appears from the information we're getting from them and their sources that they've targeted Tony Kline as their suspect. And it's very strange that right as this is happening, we seem to be coming to a closure here. Boom, out of nowhere, we got this whole Ron Logan information. But what's very strange is it was the murder sheet who threw out the Ron Logan information. So they could be pulling at, some heartstrings there. Don't know their motivation. Like I said, it's food for thought, food for the soul, having information and being able to tie these puzzle pieces together, because it's so frustrating when you're like, how did this happen? How did this person get away? I mean, how did he kill somebody in broad daylight? Wait a minute. It wasn't one person? No, he killed two. Two teenage girls? Well, what do you mean? He's on video? Wait, you have his voice too? Like, how does this happen? It seems impossible. But in the whole scheme of things, if they can knock this out here and get a home run here at about the 6-year mark, I won't be mad. And I only say that because we cover true crime, we cover serial killers, we cover cold cases, and we know some of these cases don't get solved for 10, 15, 20, 30, so imagine having to deal with that as opposed to a 6 years where we've tried to keep the spotlight right on Delphi. And if they release the information on purpose to Murder Sheet, letting them know, hey, well, first it was the Anthony Schatz, then it was the Murder Sheet. And I think the Murder Sheet might have released the Ron Logan information just to beat some people to the punch. I think they knew it was already out there. I think even HLN might have had a copy, if I'm not mistaken. What's up, H? And if you want to call in and give your opinions, I really want to hear from everybody today. You can call in and say, hey, this is just, a red herring, or this is just some type of way to misdirect or more corruption, or create kind of like some type of uproar before, political transitions coming up or voting season. Could be very possible. We've been led down and let down more than once. The Rockaways, hello, says people are pushing back, saying the release of that info jeopardizes the case. I don't think so. If anything, the more we look at it, the more strategic it appears. Very strategic. They're like, okay, who can we, let know that the information is here? Hello, D. Is that you?
It is I.
Hi,
How's
D.
everybody today?
Good. What's going on? What's on your mind?
Oh, I'm just so frustrated with Murder Sheets. Like, I love the info they put out, but it causes so much shit everywhere. Makes everybody go crazy. It just makes everybody go nuts. Like, for example, a certain Delphi creator is like trying to squeeze Ron Logan in with TK and KK since this newest Murder Sheets release, just to fit his own narrative, and it just ticks me off. There might be some truth behind Ron Logan's info, but I just don't see anybody killing two kids on his own land and leaving them there. It
Yeah, and
just
the thing
makes no
about it
sense
is,
to me. It's not
it does seem
logical.
it seems like it's most likely a friend of Kagan Klein and completely unrelated to Ron Logan, right?
I think so. I agree with you there.
It would be interesting if somebody could provide like factual information and like tie those two together, and then I might be able to jump on uh, that possibility. You know what I mean? But there's just nothing that points in that direction, like at all, unless they have inside information and they're just trying to beat us to the punch.
Oh, thank you, Derek. Thank you, Timmy. It's the least I can do. I can't do anything else for this case. I'm just glad I can help the good creators do their job
Yeah, I
by
appreciate your
modding.
help.
And I appreciate you letting me mod for you. I really, truly appreciate it.
Yeah, you do a good job, and you're not like a judgmental type of person. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that.
I try not to be. I try to keep an
Hmm.
open mind. But, I'm stubborn on some things. But whatever, that's just me. I'm just a girl. It's my job.
That's funny.
Oh, how are people on the east coast of the states making out with this crazy weather?
So you're
I
about to
hope
get hit with a
everybody's
hurricane,
well.
huh?
Well, tropical storm by the time it hits my area, but the province next to me, Nova Scotia, is going to get really hard. But my side of the province is going to get it too. Like my tub's filled up in case the power goes out so we can flush the toilet and all that. And we have 8 liters of drinking water, and I've got some chili made and shit like that.
So you're getting ready to hunker down.
Oh, I'm already snugged in. I've got the heat cranked up in case it gets cold here later. When
So
it's
you're
windy out,
saying,
sorry.
go ahead, finish your thought.
When it's windy out, the wind is really warm, but if it's not windy, it's freezing cold outside
That's strange. Why is it blowing in the warm wind? Where's
because
that
of the
warm wind
tropical
coming from?
storm is coming up from the south,
That's
so it's
cool.
warmer than what we have here.
Oh, I guess that's what's causing the storm, huh? Like the hot and the
Yeah.
cold kind of. Yeah, interesting. Well, I was going to ask you. Well, here, let me pull this up, see if you can see it real quick. I'm going to ask everybody, but since you're on the line, I'll get your opinion.
TK is not under house arrest, Jacqueline. He hasn't been charged for anything. Why would they put him under house arrest?
Yeah, I think he made bail and is just waiting for his next court date for a DUI. All right, let me stop my camera. Okay. You can see that, D?
Yes.
Okay, so what we're looking at here is basically the directions from Tony Klein's to the Country Club Road address, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so we kind of have an idea of what happened that day. At 8 a.m., they were here on Canal Street logging in and out of the Anthony Shots profile.
Mm-hmm.
But why would Kagan Klein's phone be connected over here to a Wi-Fi, a password protected Wi-Fi, if he, during the crimes, if he was at the CPS building as a passenger waiting for the killer to commit the crimes? Does that make sense to you? Why would they be over here? Does that tie these people into it? Or did they just pull up to kind of use a known Wi-Fi that they had access to and these people were unaware of it?
Is that friend one's house?
No, that's friend two, I believe. No, it might even be friend three now. I'm so confusing. It's TT.
Okay. That's what I meant, friend one. Um excuse me. I just think that his phone was left there for an alibi. That's what I think. And that's why I think TT might be involved as well. Because he was in the military, right?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked up a lot of information. I know that the friend who lived next to them was in the military, but I have a feeling that um, Tony went and picked up help.
Maybe it was TT.
Yeah, maybe he went and picked up help, and for some reason, maybe they told he was already logged into the Wi-Fi, and before they left, somebody said, "Hey, make sure you leave your phones here. Don't take any phones with you. Just take that burner phone that you got, and that's it." So without him unlogging off of the Wi-Fi, he throws it down with maybe his clothes or with his stuff, and he just leaves his phone there. You think that could explain it?
Yeah, I do. I agree with that.
Yeah, it seems plausible, but who knows? Let's see what the chat's talking about. Hey, what's up, Captain? Good to see you. Olivia, Chopper, Nathan Clark, Sharon, Teresa, Jules, hello, Willow, Baby Bear. What's up, Derek? Why don't you call in, Derek? I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on all this.
Farmer, 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 farmer.
Rain Dancer, Tony Klein has such a voice. Bet life on Ron Logan. The thing is some of the images that I've kind of seen, and only one of two that I ever tipped into law enforcement, looks like Tony Klein. It's like one frame.
So TBAM F1515. So when I go, say, to my neighbor's house or to my mom's, and my internet connects to my mom's internet, it will play whatever I was watching before. Like if I was watching YouTube, it will automatically start. So maybe that is how he was surfing porn. I don't know. That's just my thought on that, though, because I know what my phone does when I go somewhere else and hook up. Charlie, don't worry about typos. We can all read them. We know what you mean.
All right. Looks like we got somebody calling in. Give me one moment. Hey, Teresa. How are you?
Hey, fine. I have a cough, so I have to keep it short. You guys don't need to hear my coughing fit. I was wondering, what do you think about Tony Klein? I heard, and I don't know if it's true, but that they're surveilling him. I mean, because he should, in my opinion, he should be arrested on CP too. But do you think they're just surveilling him right now? Because in my opinion, at least there's at least two involved because they need to break an alibi or something.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. They could have been surveilling him. That could explain why they didn't really lock up Keegan Klein. They said,
Right.
hey, well, we know he's the passenger. Let's go ahead and, with the help of the FBI, we'll monitor him. Even though he moved over there to Nevada, we'll have the help from the FBI. Make sure he's not, over here catfishing people over there now and attempting to murder them. But it's almost like they know he's the passenger. They just need more evidence on who was driving the vehicle and who else was using the Anthony Shots profile. And then they have their killer. So it's almost like that explains Doug Carter's one piece. That one piece is what ties everything to whoever this killer is, whether that's Tony Klein or not.
Sorry. And then somebody alleged that, I don't remember where I had read it, but the KK was parked at the CPS building. I don't know if that's true. His club or his phone was on Country Club Road.
Well, the murder sheet just released. Have you heard that?
What?
Have you heard the latest information that the Murder Sheet podcast put out?
I don't listen to them, but no.
Yeah, yesterday they put out that they had some very reliable source told them that Keegan Klein put himself at the crime scene at the CPS building in the red Jeep as a passenger.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I didn't hear it off Murder Sheet. I don't know. That's crazy.
And what's really strange is when I was talking, I interviewed somebody by the name of Julian Powell, and I was like, "Hey man, what kind of car are you driving?" He's like, I think he said it was like a red, like Camaro or something.
Yeah, didn't he have a Dodge Charger red with a black stripe or something?
Yeah, and as soon as he said that, I got like 6 emails from people that either have family or friends, and they're like, "We heard it was a red vehicle. We heard it was a red vehicle." And I was like, "Well, that could be anything. A lot of vehicles are red." But it's funny that they all said that to me, and now we're hearing about the red Jeep. So that kind of makes me think that it's some real info.
Yeah, for sure. And then the helicopter, I mean, what would be the reason for a helicopter stopping? They have obviously found something, in my opinion. And I don't think Keegan Klein's the killer, but his dad is a sick, violent, you know what? I mean, both of them are, but Tony's the violent one. I mean, and I think KK was the lure to get them there. But
The
I
real
think,
cornet has a question. It's kind of sidetracked. Sorry to cut you off, and we'll go
oh,
right
it's
back to
okay.
that.
I gotta go in a
But
second.
I did want to address this. The real cornet says just tuned in, sleuth, and any word why Greeno was charged again. I guess he got some new
Wait,
charges. Yeah, and I'm assuming
why?
if what Crime Geek was saying was true, it could be connected to that.
What did
But go
she
ahead.
say?
She said he
What
was like
did,
making terroristic threats and stuff.
oh
So
my
if he
gosh.
was, he's being monitored, and that could very well be the charge. But what were you going to say, Teresa? Sorry about that.
Uh,
We were
I
talking
think I was
about.
gonna say, I think I was just gonna say that, like, I think at least two people are involved. I don't know. But Greeno, why are people thinking Greeno had something to do with it? I don't see that, but I guess he knew everybody from the Kokomo crew or whatnot.
Well, it's just kind of like the family. People just find an easy target.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's just lazy sleuthing.
Yeah. And one more thing. What was it? Oh, my memory. Oh, yeah. What do you think
Oh, we were
about?
talking about the chopper. Remember, you were. That's where we
Oh,
ended.
yeah. So that
Yeah,
to
you were
me,
asking about the
that's
chopper.
very, very. I feel like they had to have found something. Because why would a chopper fly in and then allegedly fly to Quantico, where like the main forensics
Well, think
testing
about it.
happened?
Let's say only somebody like a Doug Carter has the resources to be like, okay, get the chopper ready. Because
Right.
that's what he does at every press conference. He's like, okay, we're going to either fly in or we take a chopper or whatever. He has the power
Right.
to do that. So let's just say somebody was traveling like a Doug Carter who has that kind of pull. They might just ask out of curiosity, like, hey, take me over there.
Yeah,
Take
that's
me over to
true.
the search
That's
over
true.
there, just to be
Yeah,
part
and
of
like
it or.
that, yeah, I don't believe everything I hear. Like I said, allegedly that someone said allegedly that he went to Quantico after that. I don't know if that's true or not. So
Yeah, so maybe they had somebody. Maybe they needed to pick somebody up from the FBI, get some
true.
intel, get their input. Maybe they wanted them to be part of maybe an interrogation.
Yeah, I don't trust the FBI anymore. They're so corrupt.
Yeah, and this will be big for Indiana and the FBI if they can get this
Yeah.
taken care of.
Yeah.
It's going to be great for not only the FBI but Indiana, and
Hmm.
they need it.
And there's so many plausible theories and so many different plausible POIs. It's crazy. I don't know. I think Chadwell was somehow connected to Keaton Klein because if he did that thing, horrific thing to a 9-year-old little girl, he had to have been looking at CP on his computer.
Well, that just shows you the type of people that if they are
Mhm.
connected, I believe, through Facebook
Yeah, I
and
heard
through
they have the same
addresses.
barber and some other stuff.
Yeah,
So
so look at them. That's who they hang out with, are these bad people.
exactly. Yeah. But I'll get down because I don't want to be wasting your time and I'm about to have a coughing fit. Um,
Thanks,
well, all
Teresa.
right, I'll be in chat.
All right, you take care. Thanks for the call, and it was good to hear from
You
you.
too. Have a good
Take
weekend.
care, Teresa.
Bye.
You too.
Oh, that was awesome.
I haven't seen Teresa in ages, I guess, because she's sick. I hope you feel better soon.
Let's see. Okay, let's take a closer look at this image. So this is the part that stood out to me right here. It's kind of this weird jaw. And this is exactly what I sent to law enforcement. This image here.
I can kind of see the same mustache in your edited picture.
Well, for me, it was this right here. It's kind of like the shape of a saxophone right here.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
There's kind of like that same thing going on right here.
I just wish Ellie would arrest somebody already and put all the crazy rumors to rest.
I just want to know why. Like, why did you do that? Why did you disrupt Like you kind of disrupted the entire world. You know what I mean? Like, why would you do something? What caused you to do that? You destroyed the spirit of a town almost. Two families. We're all nuts over it. I mean, what the hell would make you do that? The fuck is wrong with you?
It's a dirty old perv mustache, isn't it, Vanessa?
That is
Makes
a
me
bit.
gag too.
And that could be the mustache we're seeing on that bridge. The brown mustache.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also has something like on his head right here. What the fuck? What's he up to?
I have no idea.
And in my opinion, him and Keegan have kind of both been like acting cocky about it all, don't you think? It's either because they didn't do it or they think they got away with it.
I don't know what they think. I think Carter was very cocky during the last, like over the anniversary, the HLN thing or whatever. You know what I mean? Where
Mm-hmm.
he just seemed cocky. Oh, we'll have an arrest by the time I'm arrested before he retires. And he had a smirk and it ticked me off.
Before he retires.
What's up, Derek? Derek,
Hey,
can you hear us?
hey,
You got an echo there.
am I echoey?
A little bit. It sounds like it's getting better already.
Hey,
There you go.
farmer.
Is that better?
Yeah, what's going on, Derek?
No, I can't hear you. Oh, what do I do again? I forgot. I gotta find my headphones, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's why I got these big things on my head.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yes. There we go.
Can you hear us?
Okay, is that better?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm so sorry, you guys.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Okay, and not echoey now?
What's going on, man?
Okay, hey, look, it's exciting stuff. I mean, all I know is we all thought that TK and KK, I mean, I won't say everyone, but that there was some kind of involvement, at least on KK with the profile. I mean, this isn't so shocking, first of all, but again, I mean, like I put a Discord today, I just have a hard time believing that these numbnuts are capable in the middle of the afternoon, just one of them doing this by themselves. So I think I don't want to be one of those people that aren't. I mean, I'll accept whatever they tell me, but there's got to be more involvement.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're saying you're looking for like a young athletic suspect?
I think there are more people at the kill site. I mean, or whatever you want to call it. I don't think just TK could even handle that. I mean, that guy doesn't even have a foot. I know. I mean, he had one then, but
Yeah, I could see that. We heard Julie Melvin talk about somebody hanging around the south side of the bridge right at 1:30. We heard Doug Carter say that the vehicle at the CPS building was there from 12 o'clock. I mean, that's plenty of time to organize some type of ambush. Really?
yeah. And I'm not saying, I mean, look, I did. I'm not going to go back and retract now. I thought it was a huge cabal. I'm not going to bullshit you. I mean, I mean, it might as well have been the mayor and everybody in a seance and fucking, suits, like black robes and who knows what's going on. But it seems like the rabbit holes might be drying up a little bit. Maybe it is a little
Good.
more straightforward than
Well,
we thought. Too.
yeah, well, when you have audio and video of a killer and you have this much attention on it and nothing's happening, it just screams of corruption and screams of conspiracy, you know?
Right. Right. And to what level? And that still doesn't answer certain things like the pedo ring. To what level may there be corruption involved in this in terms of who's involved with that? Maybe not in the murders at all, but that's still in the elliptical orbit of what's going on around KK and the murders, and it would be an involvement to some degree, and names people may not want to come out, so forth, whether it be the Kokomo crew, this Sons of Odin, whatever church affiliations, who knows?
Mhm.
But you know, maybe there are more vested interests to keep, even though they weren't there participating in the actual killing, to keep certain things quiet there in little dirty Delphi.
Oh yeah, if you're going to talk about CSAM privately, like the stuff they were talking about, to me, murder goes hand in hand with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Usually,
because yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
usually people who are able to commit those atrocities, murder to them is nothing but a sidestep for them. They've already gone as far as you could go. Why not just take a step to the side
Right.
with how evil you are? So what I always thought is once they found this pedal ring and murder and things like that go hand in hand with that behavior, I mean, they could have been covering up other murders, in those type of conspiracy theories and
Mhm.
thoughts of corruption. So who knows what was involved? There could be other murders involved for all we know.
I mean, at some point, you might just want to call it a criminal enterprise or a criminal ring. It may involve robberies, fires. It may involve fraud. It may involve pedophilia. It may involve methamphetamine and murder and
Hmm.
rape and who knows what. So, at some point, I'm not, and I don't think that, I don't see KK being the head of all of that. I don't mean to giggle because he just doesn't strike me. Then again, how do you know? How do you really know? You don't. So.
Yeah, and we
He's
might
like
know,
Lawnmower Man. Maybe he actually gets smarter every day.
and maybe we just know what they want us to know. We know they tried to manipulate the Facebook, so everything we're seeing and when Kagan's in his interviews, maybe he's just playing a role. He gets into these fantasies. These guys are completely desperate right now. So if you're desperate, completely out of your mind, which they obviously are, and nothing to lose, I mean, they have nothing at this point. I mean, not- why not just completely hide who you really are? It's going to
Right.
benefit you in the long run. They've had plenty of time to think about what they're going to do and how they're going to react with law enforcement. So, I mean, we can't assume we know them. Is
Yeah,
what I
almost
guess what I'm
like
saying.
a willing split personality like that. Instead of being psychosomatic or whatever coming on against their will, it's like I'm going to choose to just be this other person, and I'm going to be willing to let myself do this shit and that shit, and sort of, and then go have like Sunday brunch with the grandparents and act like a
Oh
normal
yeah.
human being.
I think
Hmm.
KK is a fucking genius. He's hiding stuff his whole life. He's a
Hmm.
professional liar, and I think he can just say what he says and people believe it because he's so good at lying.
Yeah, and then also you take in how long has he been catfishing? I mean, it was a few years before the murders, right? That he
For
was
sure.
like,
At
in my
least
opinion.
2014.
So I mean, and when you're running several devices and having several, no doubt he probably, like if he would have applied himself even at like Wendy's, like he could have been like a general manager or something, like like so like he clearly got better. What I'm saying, the message is over a few years he clearly gained skills. He probably even had people that he looked up to in terms of who's a good cat fisherman, whatever you call it, and who knows on that level. It's like somebody that loves the mafia, let's say, and they would really look up to these mobsters and
Mhm. They
oh,
start hanging around.
this one's great for fucking screwing somebody over this way, and this one's great for murdering
Mhm.
that family, and I'm just not in that. Like again, I'm not in this for going to Charlie Manson's gravesite and putting and having lunch at a certain time of day. I find that behavior disgusting. Um, to put the killers or that or even the gruesomeness of the crime itself on the pedestal. To me, it's the mystery of the crime. And the
Mhm.
bottom line is, if this is the mystery of the crime, then I say bring it on.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know exactly why they did it. Why would you do this? And what the hell were you doing at the crime scene? And how do we keep this from happening again? I mean, these guys did something weird to the bodies, and they did
Right.
something weird at the crime scene. And if Keegan's in the passenger seat, that means that there's a killer who did this weird stuff. whether it's one person, two people, or a group. They're potentially out there right now with sitting next to somebody's child or looking at somebody's child right now.
Right. And they may not even be like the serial killer mentality. It may be kind of like a Rubik's cube of evil. When it comes together just right, shit can go down, you know? And
Yeah,
it
certain
takes a
people
certain kind of
when they can be themselves around other weirdos, man,
right.
it all
Exactly.
comes hanging out.
Thank you, internet. Uh,
There you
you
go.
know, they ought to turn this internet off after this case is solved. Just turn it completely off, the whole thing. We can go back to being pen pals.
That'd be
Um,
nice.
but seriously, I hope this is it. I hope it's encompasses and they can show that they can show that it encompasses the planning and the entire crime, so we all feel satisfied that Libby and Abby's family feels satisfied that justice is actually being served and that you haven't cut the head off the snake essentially by letting that piece go. So I think that's what we're
Yeah.
all kind of waiting on now, even though we still, haven't heard anything officially. I mean, I'm feeling officially. I don't know. I don't know what that means. It doesn't mean anything. They may
Well, I
not say
mean,
anything for another 2 months.
if we're only looking for one piece, there's a whole lot going on for only one piece, So it sounds like we got one piece, and then they're just getting extra stuff to solidify that case when it goes to trial.
Hmm.
I mean, what if they have that jacket? It's got blood on it. They got a blade. I heard they found a knife. I heard they found
A phone.
a phone. They found a gun in 2019 just behind the Klein's home. I mean, this
I mean,
shit is wrapping up.
it's wrapping up, but then again, that would bring it around full circle to what I said earlier. These morons capable of planning something like this, and I guess if it is them, and then they just got lucky, like you said.
Lucky, exactly, lucky.
A
Think
few
about it.
episodes ago,
High.
you went on. That's like, guess you got lucky,
Hmm. Well, think about it. If they're high or drunk, sometimes people get liquored up and they go and they do these crimes. High on adrenaline, they could have just got there, marched, saw that it was perfect timing. Just like you said, anything could have changed the trajectory of it. It was Goldilocks. It was perfect for them. They walked, they saw that. They saw that the situation was perfect for their intentions, and they did it. And then maybe they panicked, and that's why the crime scene was so weird and staging took place, or maybe they actually documented it, and did something horrible.
I'm sure that. I mean, it almost seems assured that they did something like that, at least picture-wise, if not recording, video. But, I mean, if you look at TK and the what seems to be a disturbing pattern of behavior throughout his from adolescence all the way up through adulthood, honestly, I mean, it fits the pattern in my opinion from what I've gleaned from watching people like John Kelly,
Mhm.
profiler, and things like that, where he's saying things early on like this is somebody who's visual. If you think back, who had pictures of dead, deer and carcasses, Tony Klein, and proudly displaying them, and
Mhm.
and it's someone that works with their hands, Chrysler plant, I'm pretty sure he wasn't doing
Oh, and
IT
Bart.
tech.
Bart
What's that?
said, Bart, his stepson, said, "Hey, he used to take me fishing down there by that bridge."
Yeah, I mean, I've heard rumor wise that he's hunted that area before.
Deer
So,
stand. Yeah, it's right
I
there by the
mean,
bridge.
yeah, I mean, it's very plausible, and I mean, I don't still don't see how the chubster is going to be bridge guy. I mean, it looks so much thinner, but well, it was fun. I was watching or listening actually while I was delivering. This is my problem. It's like everyone comes on. Not it's my problem, not your guys's, but I always work from like 5 to midnight, sort of. That's go time in the pizza business,
Mhm.
and so I miss. But I catch what I can. But Kristen behind the crime door, and that she's when you realize that well, they never asked you to identify Bridge Guy. They asked, could you identify the walk of Bridge Guy? Can you identify not his face, but his body, his movement? They knew who it was. They knew who the face was. And I happen to kind of agree with that assessment after the 2019 press conference. They knew who it was.
Yeah, the
They just
sketch kind of
needed.
looks like somebody too.
Well,
And if you think about it, he kind of cuts his hair like a young person, like he keeps his face somewhat
mhm,
shaved like a young person. And
surely.
if he was wearing a hood or a hat, the only thing that bothers me is the person on that bridge, in my opinion, has hair coming out on the side.
Hmm.
But like I said, you can't really go too much
Well,
with
and
those
that goes
images.
along with the witness account of curly, reddish brown hair or whatever.
Yeah.
That's another thing because that second the second sketch, well, the second sketch that was released, the first sketch done of young bridge guy, the witness said that the person had a reddish, curly kind of hair thing going on, you know, ginger kind
Okay.
of thing. In other words, you know.
So how about this? The bridge guy, Tony Klein and Keegan Klein all drive up the private drive, drop off, hypothetically drop off Tony Klein. He's down the bridge. He's down the hill underneath the
He's
bridge.
at the kill site.
He's at the kill site even. Um, Bridge guy and KK drive off of the private drive, park at the CPS building. Kagan
Uh-huh.
stays in the car and is looking out for anybody. Maybe even
I like it.
ask to honk or something if you see anything strange.
That's it.
Um,
Let's wrap it up. That's it. Obviously, I mean that makes the most
yep,
sense. Three people.
yep. Killer gets out of the driver's seat, because Kagan doesn't like to drive. Walks up to where, as soon as he sees the Snapchat photo, walks up, leads the girls down the hill, and whatever happened down there, there's somebody potentially
Mm,
also there.
right. Which would explain why maybe they were easier or more easily disabled.
Yeah, because
Because
I could see Tony.
looking
Tony
at
could.
Bill's video, man, that hill ain't no joke.
You can hear him sliding.
I mean, that's I'd be nervous going down there. I mean,
Wild
I'm Tony
Adventures with
Klein. I already
Michael.
got the bad, diabetic foot. I mean, I
Hmm.
gotta believe that the bridge guy then is a third person. That's still we got to figure out. Then is that what we're saying? Nice,
Well,
not nice, but
if
I mean that makes sense to me.
if the shoe, because I haven't heard verification if it was stuck in the mud or not, but either way, the shoe came off. Usually that happens if you're not wearing them tied very tight. And you got to run. I don't know if you ever ran really quick and your shoes just stayed there. Have you ever done
Mhm.
that?
Yeah, sure.
You get so scared you just jump right out of your shoes. You're like, oh man.
Oh,
Well, what were
yeah,
they
no,
running from? And if they're running, who is there somebody like a Tony Klein chasing them? It just doesn't seem likely to me. I see a young, maybe a
yeah,
somebody like a Tony has one of the girls, and he's like, "Go chase, go get that girl and bring her back here. Make sure she doesn't get
somebody,
away."
somebody
Um,
like maybe a young hitchhiker or something like that outside of town. Maybe because Peru's 40 minutes outside of town, and hitchhiker if he was an hour or so away, 40 miles. Maybe that Reddit. I don't know. There's that rabbit hole, but it fits in with that.
yeah, I don't think we're able to lean on that anymore.
You don't think so? I mean,
Mm-mm.
because that guy said it's someone you wouldn't assume. He was super impressed with the efficiency, basically,
I'm
and
gonna
then
say if it's Keegan Klein, that has no relevance. That's just another.
then who would
Some,
I mean? Then any idea who the third person could be?
I'm thinking somebody that was at that Country Club Road.
Oh yeah. Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
that
why'd
makes
they
sense.
go there? It's like I can't do
Uh,
this with Keegan.
alibi to put a device. He has 5 devices.
Mm-mm.
Put one there.
I think that was
No,
an accident. I think that was an accident. Like you said, these guys aren't smart.
I
I think
mean,
we're. I think it was an accident. I think it's just something Kagan does. They're over there, probably doing drugs. That's probably what gave them the courage
pretty
to do
safe bet.
this.
Yeah.
Kagan's just doing what he's always doing. He's on his phone. Hey, leave that phone here. We're not
I,
taking any phones. He just drops the phone. It's still connected to the website. Boom, connected to porn the entire time.
hmm. Wow. Yeah. I mean, no, I think you're probably right. I've also always wanted to hold on to that rumor. I mean, it's a tough one to let go, but you're right. You're probably right there. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to be one of those people that refuses to look at what they're telling me, and they
Hmm.
put the work and the hours and the blood, sweat, and tears into it. I'm gonna believe them when they say it. So, um, unless they're obviously corrupt or something like that. But it looks as if it looks on the outside like he's going to roll on his dad and whoever this third person is. Now, my question: if they think the bridge guy is that guy, why release him on bail?
I don't think it was that guy. I think there was somebody else there, or they
Oh,
stopped, or they just picked, or they even just picked up the third guy and just stopped by there, maybe to pick up something.
Right, because that
But
guy's
yeah,
not that young either. That's Tony's first cousin.
yeah, he's not young.
TT. I'll say TT.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
Did their house
Maybe
get raided
no,
early on?
not that I know
No.
of.
Okay.
Mm-mm. But I mean, if they did a search warrant, I wonder why they didn't find anything in that Jeep. Yeah.
Well, it would go back to anything in the Jeep as far as what, like just like forensic murder stuff, or like, oh yeah, right, I guess.
Blood.
Yeah.
But more so, this kind of leads to the like maybe the killer, maybe they panicked, and when they were trying to get away, they saw Derek German, they saw the flannel shirt guy, they seen all these people hiking. They're like,
Mhm.
crap, man, we got to go back this way. I know a path this way. We can get out here, and we'll just have
Lucked into it.
yeah, we'll have Kagan come pick us up over here by this Marathon gas station. They're like,
Anything
something
Do
like
you
that.
think it's possible or plausible that maybe it was a situation where TK was the actual catfish of them, or that like KK set it up for him basically, and then so he goes there, and it's already been prearranged since that phone contacted Libby's phone at 8 in the morning apparently, um, like a situation where then he became you've kind of touched on different elements, really, of the whole thing over different videos, whether it be the angry friends or whatever, Goldilocks.
Mhm.
But that it was a situation where TK is looking for some kind of maybe paid hookup or just a hookup, and it's total rejection, and I'm going to turn you in, and go, and he becomes enraged and lashes out because she had brought someone when after grooming her had pretty much thought he had that covered. What do you think of that?
Well, if we put anything into what Julie said about the witness, this witness had an interaction with the suspect, who we see now as a young guy sketch. So why would you have an interaction and actually? I think they had an altercation, like, "Hey, get out of here! You need to leave," or whatever. Why have that altercation, knowing you've been seen, and then proceed to murder two teens in the middle of the daylight? To me, the motivation had to have been some kind of panic and rage.
Mhm.
Um, so we know there was an altercation between Kagan Klein and Libby, and also her phone was reset right around the same time they met.
Mhm.
So they were afraid of something. And if this actually led law enforcement to this large pedo ring, or whatever they call it, the largest in Indiana history, that could have been
Mhm.
a good reason to murder somebody,
Mhm.
because that's what they found. They found this ring because they found Kagan Klein. Now, if they attempted to get rid of that other witness, and if they would have been successful in the ski mask incident, they may have gone undetected forever. They may have gotten away with this crime, if you really think about it.
Wow, that's true because that's where it all started, isn't it? Well, I mean,
Mhm.
but after the raid, but they didn't put the two and two together until that ski mask incident.
No, that's why they raided them, is because of the
Oh,
ski mask
right.
incident.
Jesus.
Ski mask incident happened. The girl reported, "Hey,
I
Anthony
just got done
Schatz."
smoking something called Animal Face. Ooh, I gotta
No,
get that
yeah,
next one.
yeah. So you had that incident, which took place on the 20th. They bailed out, and that's when law enforcement first heard of the Anthony Schatz profile. They're like, okay. And we also now know that the Anthony Schatz profile was communicating with Libby, because of our witness who was involved in the ski mask incident told law enforcement that, according to Keegan's transcripts, his interview transcripts. Happened on the 20th. They bail out on the 21st, the very next day. So they were trying to silence that witness there. They're
Right.
like, we're only tied to this crime through her. They are unsuccessful. They bail to Las Vegas. The day they come back, their house is raided. That day, on
Yeah.
the 25th. So I mean, law enforcement, they knew. They
They
knew.
knew, yeah. Huh. It
But
does. It does. I gotta admit. I mean, it snaps together like a good puzzle. Like a good puzzle when you put it like that.
and this is where the murder sheets comes in. Okay. They can't proceed. They can't get prosecutors to say, okay, we're going to charge the bridge guy on what we gathered through Keegan Klein. It's just not enough. We need that one piece. So I don't think Carter came up with a one piece. I think he was told he needs to get that one piece. And that's what he's been trying to do. I need this one piece so that I can get the ball rolling in that courtroom. And I think that's what this has all been about is that one piece.
And that's gonna be him rolling on pops.
But we're getting ready to wrap this up. We're gonna have an hour.
Hey.
So let me get your final thoughts, Derek.
My final thoughts. Just let the truth come out. Let it be what it is. And if it's laid out in front of us, that simply, and that they show that in a court of law, then that's it. It's over. It's done. As far as I'm concerned with this, what I'm involved with for this. That's it. That doesn't mean not lots of follow up and stuff like that, but there are other ones I might want to look into, some other one or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, why not? If you got all this energy, why not put it into something that's helpful?
Well, I'm not going to be willing to let all you guys go. Just that case. If
Oh, we're not going anywhere. We're going to cover. We're going to cover the follow up. We're going to cover the CSAM pedal ring. We're going to be covering the Evansdale case quite a bit. We're going to follow up on some cold cases, and we're always going to talk about the Delphi case and the whys behind it. How do we prevent something? Because I mean, the details of this case are completely disgusting, and it could happen to anybody.
And let's face it, there may still be some mysteries yet to come out of this whole thing. This might be literally the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, they got a lot of explaining to do. D, what's your final thought before we close out?
I think they probably have a lot of more dirty pervs to arrest for the CSAM ring. And I just wish that case took the backseat to the girls. You know what I mean? But I think it's they're intertwined. I think whoever it is that's the killer is part of that CSAM ring, has had access to the Anthony Shots account and the Dropbox account. I just wish it was today or a month ago, or it had silly that it's gone on this long. It's heartbreaking for the families.
Yeah, and law enforcement, hopefully they can kind of explain why they did what they did. They say they will, and hopefully we'll understand it more at that time.
Well, when there's real physical evidence coming out of Rivers and people turning coat on guilty parties, that is real stuff, and that'll be resolution.
Yep, and we're going to cover it every step of the way.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for calling in, being great guests, co-hosts, and we'll do it again soon.
Thank you for having me. Thanks. Have a good one, D. Thanks, chat. Take care, everybody.
You
Thanks,
too,
Derek.
Homer.
Thank you, D. Bye.
Tip your pizza guy.
Tip your pizza man, guys. Your delivery guy.
Always.
Do it. All right, guys. We're going to hang out here the last 4 minutes and chat. Sorry if I didn't get to everybody that was over there. I apologize. But we are out of time. It's a good question, Don. Hey, lesbian. Hit that like button. Thank you so much, Jules. Yeah, that Jeep's nice. Hey, Candy. Yes, Chelsea, that's possible. The One Piece. Tying bridge guy to the murderer. Sex and rage. Yeah, motivation I think was to keep a secret. Yes, Jen, I heard possibly we can expect something on Monday. That's just a rumor, though. Yeah, I think somebody's trying to hide something, and the girls could either threaten to expose them or could potentially have exposed them. Unknowingly, even. Yeah, that's a good point, Mindy. Yep. Yeah, Georgia. Very possible. Big Fish, I think anybody that was talking to the Emily Ann was most likely like small children, young teenagers. But I get what you're saying. Thanks, Rob. I would like to take a look at that. Red, can't wait to see that. Yeah, D, very big news. Fig told me it was coming, and it came. Yeah, Diane says, my heart screams to equip parents to better protect our kids, but really it's personal responsibility. If you are a sicko, do not be hanging around kids or getting all high and plotting and shit.